It's TheFrXion here, Tang1, however you call me, I don't really care. Welcome back to Auction Day 2. I missed Day 1 because it was Valentine's Day, and sorry, there are other things in life that sometimes are more important, but we didn't really miss out on a lot. It was the 121B, what is it, Monkey of the West? A really cool style, but it was not worth 20 million credits. I think in the end people had to go as far as 28 million credits, and that's just a little bit too expensive for me for a reskinned tier 10 vehicle that I already own in my garage. But at first I was kind of surprised in a positive way because they were just giving out a reskinned vehicle, and I think that's fine because we already have the 121B and I think we can deal with it. It's not the most powerful vehicle that ever existed, but now they have gone back their old ways, their old wargaming ways, and they're bringing out the K-2. So the K-2 is going to set you back at least 8,000 gold. It is a Soviet Tier 8 premium vehicle, and I would just wanted to see where the number is because I know it's 8,000 gold, but I just can't see it. Currently, I'm on the European World of Tanks website because on NA, it still takes about a couple of hours before they release it. So yeah, 20,000 of them are available on EU. I think on NA it's going to be less than that. 8,000 gold for basically a IS-4 at tier 8. This vehicle is an IS-4 that has been reskinned and is supposedly the IS-4 prototype. So let's take a real quick look at the vehicle itself, and we're going to talk a little bit about the fact, or about, you know, all of the characteristics, because it does have some very powerful characteristics there. Now, if you remember the IS-4's old gun, this vehicle does have a very similar gun. It's not the 122mm gun that the IS-4 has, the old one, because then it would have less penetration. As you can see, 390 alpha damage, 203mm of penetration with its standard AP shells, and then it has 270mm of penetration with either APCR or heat. I'm not entirely sure if it's heat or APCR, but I could imagine that it might be the heat penetration that we had on the IS-5, which is also a premium tank. It has 1,650 HP, 30 kph going forwards, 12 in reverse, and it is very, very well armored. Right here you can see it has an AP shell that travels like incredibly slow, a heat shell that travels a bit faster, but a heat shell that really is going to be the main usage case on this vehicle. You know, accuracy is not there. Aim time is not there either. It's a really sluggish vehicle. It has 6 degrees of gun depression, so it's a typical Soviet vehicle, and it has 15 seconds of reload time. So for this kind of caliber, that is insanely long, and yeah, it doesn't look all that appealing, but it does have that 270mm of heat penetration, and you know, with the right equipment, with the crews, you can get this all down to some reasonable levels where you are still quite, you know, competitive in a close quarter fight. Why are you still competitive? Well, you're still competitive because this vehicle has some insane armor for a tier 8, and sadly, that's exactly what I feared. Because this is going to be a IS-4 at tier 8 that's going to be facing tier 6 vehicles. So it's basically a blast of the past. We're going back in time, having the +5 matchmaking again, where some M4 easy 8s are going to be running into this bad boy again. I love wargaming. But either way, horrible view range, 340 base with this vehicle. But incredible armor, 160 at the front, 150 on the side, 120 at the back, 250 on the turret, 160 on the side, 160 at the back. And yeah, it might not be fast, it might not have the power to weight ratio, but it just has the armor, right? This is going to be a breaching tank, this is going to be a vehicle that can just sit there and fight it out with all of the other heavies, and creating some incredibly frustrating experiences probably while doing so. Now, one of the main features that I think is going to be important is I actually want to show you guys one thing, and that is the top of the turret, because we cannot see it. Because you guys know World of Tanks is a very hull down kind of game right now. The meta is really fast, hit hard, and have good turret armor. You can see that this vehicle has 2 cupolas on top, but they do not seem to be very exposed, and they do not seem to be like incredibly, well, easy to hit. Now, if you're above the vehicle, I do guess you're going to be able to do some damage, but what we really need to check out is Tanks GG to see if this is actually a place where we can penetrate this vehicle. So basically, to round this up, this is a tank that is really subpar in almost every single category. Firepower is not really good. It does have a great high explosive anti-tank round though. You know, other than that, accuracy, aim time, movement, mobility, all of those things, not very good, but it combines it with incredible armor, and that might already just be enough to kind of push this over the line and make it a really good tank in city maps or places where heavy tanks can fight against one another. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. 8,000 gold, I highly doubt that that is going to be the baseline. I highly doubt that anyone is going to be able to get this vehicle for 8,000 gold, especially since Wargaming just released the Christmas loot boxes 2-3 months ago. That means people will still be loaded with gold, and they'll just kind of probably like throw in, I would say maybe 16,000 or even more, because it's an IS-4 at tier 8, and yeah, it's a new tank, it's a new premium, it's a Soviet one as well. Yeah, people will buy it. I myself, I'll have to see, probably not gonna partake because just don't have the time, and I don't want to be starting in the bidding wars. And to be fair, I still need the gold down the line, right? Because this is not going to be the last event. The event will go on further than later down the line. We're probably going to have like the caravan again, and that's going to be coming in like 2 months or something like that. If we are lucky. If we're unlucky, it might be coming around in like a week or something like that. But yeah, this is the K-2. It's an IS-4 at tier 8, and it'll face tier 6 tanks. Good job, Wargaming. Love this company. But yeah, whatever. I don't know. What should we say to this? We have nothing to say. Hope you guys have a great day. See you on the next video.